Hi everyone, this is Ms. DeLu, and this lesson is for Unit 2, Module A, Lesson 4, and it's about the actions and results. The objective is students will select relevant details and examples to develop ideas by collecting, recording, and verifying data. Make sure your guided notes are open in a separate tab and watch this digital lesson. Pause when needed to take notes. You should have this digital lesson in front of you and you will respond as we go through it. Okay, we always start with the approaches to learning, which is a skill we want to master. And the skill we're still working on is collecting, recording, and verifying data. And remember that record means to put in writing. And it's important to collect and record data because having sources makes arguments stronger and it will help you academically and in careers. How to collect data. You will need to find relevant sources of information, and this could include books, websites, or videos. How to record data. Have a note-taking system to write down only the most important and relevant information. And how to verify data. And you've got your information on how to verify data here. When collecting the data, sometimes you need to make inferences. Remember that in order to determine what information is relevant to collect, you need to make the inferences. An inference is the process of drawing a conclusion based on the available evidence plus previous knowledge and experience. Inferring requires a person to make an educated guess, as the answer will not be stated explicitly. Let's do a little practice with an inference question. What can you infer about the student from this sentence? After the teacher explained the directions repeatedly, the student responded, "So, what are we supposed to do?" So what can you infer? The student was not paying attention, the student was hungry, or the student understands the directions. So pause the video and highlight which one of these you can infer. Now remember, you need to use your experience along with evidence. So there's some evidence in here that shows that the teacher explained the directions repeatedly and that the student didn't know what to do. So using those two, and maybe you've heard this question before in a class after the teacher spent time, you should highlight the student was not paying attention. That's the inference you can make. Now we're going to practice using Nellie Bly as an example. Remember, for this practice activity, you are not writing about your notable figure. You're watching how we can find this information for Nellie Bly, and you'll record it how I record it here, and then you'll be able to work on your own notable figure on the mastery check. Now remember that you've already given some background information and you've talked about the issue for the notable figure, and the last thing you did was the philosophy, or what was going on in society at that time. This next step is what action or actions, because sometimes there's more than one action that a notable figure did. What did they do to change to make a change in the philosophy of society? You'll do your research to figure out what they did in order to make a change, and then you'll use this sentence frame to help you write. Right now, though, we're only going to use this sentence frame to look at what Nellie Bly did. The notable figure's name, and then the action or actions, and in order to get what result. So let's remember, you're looking for the action the notable figure took, what did they do about it, and what did the notable figure want to happen as a result. Here's an example of using the giver. Jonas decided to leave the community in order to release all the memories and choices back to the people so that they would live more fully. So after reading the research for Nellie Bly, I wrote this sentence in the box down here, and this is what you're going to copy. And this is based on the research I did for Nellie Bly. you'll copy this. Bly decided to go undercover in an insane asylum and then write about it in order to expose the terrible living conditions and treatment of mentally ill patients. Now, there were no key terms required for Nellie Bly for this section, but when you get to your mastery check, you need to look for any key terms to help you write a good response to this section. I'll double check that I got everything I needed. I have my notable figure's name, I have the actions, and the desired result. Also, there's nothing highlighted down here, so please do not leave any highlighted words in this section. Let's go to this last section, and this is the results. So what is the results of your notable figures action? And we will be using this sentence frame using Nellie Bly. As a result of his or her actions, the society changed, and you can say by or because a result of the action or actions. Remember, we're looking for how or why did the society change because of the action. Here is an example using the giver. As a result of Jonas's action, the society changed because the people were forced to receive the memories and start making choices on their own. After doing my research on Nellie Bly, this is what I came up with for the sentence. This is what you will be writing in your document, and it says, as a result of Nellie Bly's actions, the society changed because they learned through her writing about the bad living conditions and made improvements to the care of the mentally ill patients. And I had checked, and there were no key terms required for Nellie Bly. To review, students selected relevant details and examples to develop ideas for collecting, recording, and verifying data, and see Google Classroom for the next step.